2022 saw jubilation, agony, triumph, losses, and most of all, spirit, with close to 120 teams across Jamaica battling for schoolboy football supremacy. In the end, 2 stood tall, but we will be put to the test. They will be put to the test as more teams converged to reignite rivalries and the chance to call themselves the best in the island. Good evening to every one of you here in attendance, also those of you watching on SportsMax as well as on YouTube. And this is the launch for the 2023 season of ISSA Schoolboy Football. They say that Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. However, for most of fans in Jamaica, as well as those abroad, this is the most wonderful time of the year. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Gerard Morrisili. I will be your master of ceremonies for this evening. And I would ask Miss Jennifer Williams, the principal of the Queen's High School, to lead us in prayer at this time.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for our many blessings and another opportunity to showcase our athletes in the sport of football. We pray for blessings on this year's season. Give each one the courage to play the game in a manner which by our words and our actions will be pleasing to you. Let us enter into the competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and with respect for members of the opposing team. We thank you for all those who are gathered here and to our sponsors as they continue to support us in developing our young people. Help us all to compete with fairness in our hearts and minds, and give us the grace to accept success or defeat. Protect our health and bodies as we go forth each day. In your honor, amen.
Thank you, Principal Williams. And let me acknowledge those of you in attendance. Mr. Keith Wellington, President of ISSA. Mr. Francois Chalifer, Director, Marketing and Development at Wisynco. Mr. Linvern Wright, the Chairman of the Da Costa Cup. Tari Lovell, Chief Marketing Officer, Digicel Jamaica Limited. Mr. Andre Roper, Brand Manager, Restaurants of Jamaica. Nicholas Matthews, CEO, SportsMax. Sports Advisor to the Minister of Sports, Mr. Ali McNabb. JFF President, Michael Ricketts. Those of you, coaches, managers, representing schools in the competition, all other specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How many of you were present for the 2022 season? Do you remember how competitive, how passionate the players were about representing their schools? And of course, some of them not going on to win. However, they felt they accomplished something. And that is what schoolboy football does for many of our players, many of our young athletes here in Jamaica, providing an opportunity for them to showcase their talents. Some of them going on to do better. One such, of course, of significance, the John Whisper Richards signing with Chelsea FC in the English Premier League, and I think that deserves a round of applause. But now let's take the time to just go down memory lane as I ask you to look at the screens as we take a look back at the 2022 season. what a season it was. We saw the rivalry, JC, KC in the Champions Cup. We saw what a wonderful display it was of goals scoring in that game between Kingston College and Clarendon College. Of course, 4 goals being scored by one player who has now gone on to do great things, and we expect to see him go on further. I now ask the president of ISSA, Mr. Keith Wellington, to come to the stage and give some remarks in his capacity as president.
Thank you, Gerard. Members of the ISSA executive and the Schoolboy Football Planning Committee, including our sponsors, representatives from Wisynco, Digicel, SportsMax, Kendall, and Kendall, along with our gear provider and sponsor, Soccer Express, team representatives, principals present, coaches, managers, players. Good evening. Good evening. Right, it is a good evening. We have lovely weather, so we ought to be very cheerful. The long-awaited 2023 ISSA Schoolboy Football season has arrived. After a thrilling 2022 Schoolboy Football season, which saw 5 different schools lifting the 6 trophies on offer, team officials, players, and fans have been eagerly anticipating the new season. Schoolboy football has become a staple on the calendar of every football fan in Jamaica. Last season saw the emergence of a crop of schoolboys who are expected to transition into the next generation of reggae boys. Most significant amongst them was the Manning Cup MVP, Dujon Richards, who caught the eyes of the then reigning UEFA Champions Cup winners, Chelsea FC. The fact that we could see the signing of one of SBF's shining star directly from our competition by one of the world's elite professional clubs is testament to the abundance of talent existing amongst Jamaica's schoolboy players. Yes, I think it deserves a hand. And I must put in here that this talent abounds right across Jamaica, and not just in schoolboy football. Just today we saw a 19-year-old left school a year early, but could have run a champs this year, finishing 4th at the World Championships in Budapest, right, breaking a national record, senior record that existed for 30-odd years. So the talent exists right across our various competitions. And we are proud as a group of principals that we have seen it fit to provide the opportunities to expose these talented schoolboy footballers and other student athletes. We are also grateful and must express our gratitude to our various stakeholders who continue to ensure that ISSA is able to provide the opportunity for exposure of the innate talents of our young people. Corporate entities, Wisynco, through its brand Water, Powerade, Shoe Shake, and Pringles, Digicel, SportsMax, and Kirk Distributors through its brands Setamal and Kendall have continued their financial commitment to ISSA Schoolboy Football. We are eternally grateful for the support that this partnership has brought to us and thank them for their investment in Jamaica's youths. Fans will again be thrilled to know that our broadcast partners, SportsMax, will again provide worldwide coverage of this year's competition on its various platforms. And I don't see Craig Butler here, but Craig said to me earlier this year, Keith, I have to say to you, when we tried to get Whisper into Chelsea, the thing that tipped the scales in his favor was what they were able to see from SportsMax clips of schoolboy football. So let me commend SportsMax for their coverage, and as I said before, thank the sponsors for their continued support. ISSA remains committed to providing a wholesome, fair, and balanced opportunity for our schoolboy footballers. A number of adjustments to our eligibility rules are aimed at ensuring that the development of our talents are at the forefront of those who engage our students for our competitions. We believe that although there are only 6 trophies on offer each season, there is the opportunity for many more teams to be winners and for every player to end the season being a winner. During this season, ISSA will also be organizing other activities around the competition that will be aimed at engendering a spirit of community involvement, leadership, and camaraderie amongst our schoolboy footballers and the general public. We believe that ISSA is a powerful entity that can positively influence our young people, and we therefore intend to ensure that those of our students who participate in this competition are empowered to become the leaders of today and tomorrow. Before I close, I want to recognize the presence of the president of the JFF, Mr. Mike Ricketts. I did not see you enter and you didn't come to greet me, sir, and therefore you did not take your seat at the front, so I did not see you. So I apologize for not recognizing you, sir. And you should be at the forefront. Can you escort him, Mr. Scott, to the front of the... Mr. Scott, please step aside. Miss Williams, how did you greet Miss Williams, Ali? Pretty lady, can you... thank you very much for being in attendance. I know we always have your full support. All right. In closing, we implore every adult associated with a team or a school to ensure that every student participating in this year's competition ends the season being a true champion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And of course, we know that there are many schools that participate in this ISSA Schoolboy Football season. And one such making a return, I must acknowledge, some of them are being represented here. The Donald Quarry High School making a return to the football season. And interesting fact, they are it is the former school, the alma mater of entertainer Ding Dong. So probably they will learn some dance moves. When they win, they could put them on the field. So moving along smartly, let's move on to the chairman of the DaCosta Cup, Linvern Wright. I invite you now to come to the stage and make some remarks.
I think our president, having expressed welcome to everyone and recognized everyone, I'm allowed on your behalf, sir, to forego those sentiments, more out of an economics of time than anything else. But good evening, everyone. It's my responsibility this evening to speak to the structure of the competition, as we normally do every year. And this year, Manning Cup, DaCosta Cup, Ben Francis Knockout, Walker Cup Knockout, and the season closer Oliver Shield are all back. Our season will span September 9 to December 16, over 3 months of football. Certainly exciting for some and grueling for others. Our structure is very similar to that of 2022. Manning Cup format. 43 schools have entered the 2023 Schoolboy Manning Cup football competition. We welcome the return of Ascot, Denham Town, Donald Quarry, Eltham, Greater Portmore, Innswood, Pembroke Hall, and Penwood High. 7 zones of 6 teams will comprise the initial Manning Cup structure. All teams will play in the preliminary round and qualify for the seeded round by placing first or second. In addition, the best 2 third-place teams will compete the slate of 16 teams for the home and away tie. Winners of the home and away seeded ties will play in the quarterfinal round of 8, which will comprise 2 zones of 4 teams each. First and second placed teams will qualify for the semi-final round of 4 teams. Winners of the 2 matchups in the semi-finals will play the Manning Cup final. For the Da Costa Cup, 88 schools will compete this year. We welcome back Abotnott, Gallimore, Cambridge, Karen Hall, Claude McKay, Cross Keys, Discovery Bay, Fern Court, Nakalva, Knox College, Porus, Newell, and Roger Clark High. 14 zones comprising 3 zones of 8 teams, 5 zones of 6 teams, 4 zones of 5, and 2 zones of 4 will compete. Teams automatically qualify for the second round after placing first or second in the preliminary round, which sees teams playing in home and away ties in all zones except the ones with zones of 8. These zones of 8 will, after 7 games, see the top 4 playing off for the top 2 spots. Zone C will have an automatic third place qualifier. All other zones will have a chance to qualify with the best third places. For 3 of the best third places. 32 ranked teams will make up the second round of home and away knockout matches. Teams will qualify for Da Costa Cup quarterfinals after winning home and away ties in the second round. The quarterfinal round will consist of 4 teams competing in 4 zones. Winners of each of the 4 zones will play in the semi-final matchups, from which the 2 winners will clash for the final. Ben Francis. 8 teams that did not advance from the round of 16 of the Da Costa Cup will contest the first round of the Ben Francis Cup. The quarterfinals will be contested by the 4 winners from the first round and the other 4 teams that did not advance from the Da Costa Cup quarterfinals. The winners will then advance to the semifinals. Naturally, the winners will contest the finals. For the Walker Cup, which is a round of 4 matches, 8 teams that did not advance from the round of 16 of the Manning Cup will contest the first round of the Walker Cup. The quarterfinals will be contested by the 4 winners from the first round and the other 4 teams that did not advance from the Manning Cup quarterfinals. The winners will then advance to the semifinals, from where the 2 winners will contest the finals. The ISSA Champions Cup. 4 teams in both Manning Cup and Da Costa Cup semifinals will contest the Champions Cup competition. The 2 sets of teams will square off against each other in a straight Manning Cup versus Da Costa Cup team matchup. The competition will be played on a knockout basis. All matches which end in a draw at the end of regulation time will be decided by penalty shootout. There will be no extra time. This year, we have sought to improve as best as we can the safety and security of surfaces through minimum standards that have been established by inspectors and conveyed to schools and venues. We have had inspectors going out to the zones, and we actually have held some fields from being named. We actually have not named some fields because we feel that the surfaces are not up to standard. And believe you me, the schools are doing good work. I don't think we have ever been this serious. And I recognize that the principals and the schools are really very earnest and intentional in their attempts to ensure that everything is okay and safe for students. So we look forward to this. We expect to have feature matchups from the first and second round of each zone, billed as derby games, which are matchups based on history. In addition, as the good form of some teams evolve, mouth-watering matchups will be on the cards. It is an honor to entertain, to delight, to intrigue, as we partner with schools, sponsors, players, coaches, and principals, along with spectators, to make SBF 2023 a marvelous treat. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that I do remember and commended for last season was the introduction of an additional round in the Da Costa Cup, which meant there was more football to be played. There were more chances for teams that we probably would not have normally seen after the first round, after the second round, to go ahead and still give them a chance to get into the round of 16 quarterfinal stage. So I think that is back from what I've heard, and I think ISSA should be commended for that. Of course, in order for young players to grow and get acclimatized to competition, they have to keep playing football. So the addition of that extra round for the plethora of teams that we have in the rural area, I think it was a good move from ISSA, and I'm glad, happy that it's back again this season. So one of the men who ensure that the games go according to the highest standard are held accountable, the referees, the officials, and so on, players, coaches, ensure that they're on their best behavior. I would invite him to come and make some remarks now in his new capacity as ISSA Competitions Director, Mr. Ewan Scott. Welcome him to the stage as he comes.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Members of ISSA Executive, JFF President Michael Ricketts, Mr. Ali McNabb, representing Minister Oliver Grange, sponsors, members of the media, players, coaches, officials, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon. Let us step onto the field and immerse ourselves in the captivating world of high school football as we present Rise Above, empowering young champions through football. What we have done this year is to include some other awards that teams and players can try and achieve, and with more involvement in the community. So we have 3 community awards, namely for the team, and I won't go into the details as it's in your handout and will be made public in the interest of time. So we have 3 community awards, namely team, individual, and coach or team officials. What we'll ask them to do is to get involved with the community and then submit a 3 to 5 minute video where we will adjudge the winners. For the competition, we have the regular 6 or 7 trophies on offer, namely the Champions Cup, the Costa and Manning Cup, Walker and Ben Francis, Oliver Shield, and as we did last season, we brought back the All Manning versus the All Da Costa. The new trophies in that era that we'll be looking at are best goal. And what we'll ask the teams to do is to submit a video of the best goal that they think, and then we will ask the public to vote on the submissions. We'll also have team spirit, which is basically the cohesion and unity within the team, support and encouragement for teammates, and positive team culture and camaraderie, amongst other things. We'll also have the Sportsmanship Award, which is exemplary sportsmanship throughout the competition, respect for opponents, officials, and teammates, and importantly, adherence to the rules and spirit of the game. A very important one, the academic excellence. And with this, we'll have 3 categories. There will be what we're doing is saying that not just sports, but we also want our athletes to concentrate on their education. So we'll have 3 entries, the 3 categories. The upper 6, where they should have a minimum of 4 CXC CAPE subjects, grades 1 or 2. Lower 6, which is 8 CXC or CSEC grades 1 and 2. And for lower forms, they must have an average of 70% or above with no failures, and a minimum of 90% attendance. Again, the details will be flushed out. We'll also have the Captain's Award, which will look at the positive influence on the teammates, decision-making and problem-solving skills, communication and interpersonal skills, these recommendations must be submitted by a team official and must be signed off by the principal. So we must have somebody from the higher office vouching for this. Other special ones we have are youth player of the season, must be between the 14 to 16. Outstanding performance of a youth player's contribution to team despite being a youth player. And coach of the season, not necessarily the winning coach, but a coach who exemplifies leadership and mentorship skills, strategic thinking, and game planning. And finally, we need to recognize our officials, so we will be having a referee and assistant referee of the season. What we'll ask is the head of the refereeing department to assist us in selecting these two individuals. So, ladies and gentlemen, not just the regular trophies, but what we're doing is challenging the youngsters and the teams to go there in their communities so we can have a lot more cohesion and mentorship going on. I thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. More trophies. I like trophies. I used to win trophies back in my day. Not in football, but in different sports. A couple academic trophies as well, but I'm not one to brag. Now, we know that putting on competitions such as this one is not cheap. And it is always good when you can have some assistance, whether financially or otherwise, that we can have these nice trophies. We can have jerseys for them to wear, for the players to wear. And, we can have television so that I can smile and look pretty on your screen. But we move in now to the remarks of the sponsors. And starting with Mr. Francois Chalifer, the Director of Marketing and Development at Wisynco. Please welcome him as he comes.
Thank you, Gerard. I promise I won't brag nor look pretty. Good evening, everyone. Very, very nice setting. In particular, it's a little cooler this evening than last year. I think it was 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning under the hot sun. It is quite a privilege to be asked to speak on behalf of Wisynco for what is, in effect, Wisynco's largest sponsorship across all the sponsorships that we do every year. I want to, in particular, especially at the beginning of the season, to highlight Keith, Linford, Colleen, and your entire team. And I particularly appreciate this year the addition of new awards to recognize academics and effort. And it's very important for the recognition to take place. And Wisynco, through its brands Wata, Pringles, True Shake, and Powerade, is very happy to participate and support Schoolboy Football. It is a significant duty that successful companies and successful entities need to give back and participate in the future of Jamaica. And this, as well as I'll plug a little bit of what Wisynco is doing now through the brand Water, we're again this year giving away or doing scholarships up to $12 million for students of all levels. And I think that for us, it's part of the same idea to give back. Education, sports are two tremendous opportunities and vehicles through which our youth grow and experience and learn and fail and win and all of that. So I'm very happy to be here on behalf of Wisynco to demonstrate our support again this year. And to you, Keith, and your team, congratulations. Keep up the good work. And I know that towards the end of the season, we'll talk more about the teams and the best players and the best goals. But really, tonight is for ISSA and recognizing you and all that you do and put this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shalifor. And thank you to Wisynco for coming back on board for this season. And we had an unfortunate event last year during the season where we saw some, I guess I can call them hooligans, decide to target a school team and decided to rob these young men of their possessions. However, one of these sponsors, the next sponsor who will be represented, decided to step in and return some form of I guess, some kind of heart to the young men, because playing a game, having that happen to you, and then having to go through the season, having lost your possessions is never easy. I mean, it doesn't replace what they had, but it will give them a chance to start fresh. So Digicel did come on board and decided to give them some cell phones. Of course, some of them would have gotten different cell phones from what they had before, but nevertheless, they were still able to make contact with their friends and so forth and go on to do their work, whether it was online or otherwise. So I will ask Mr. Tari Lovell, the Chief Marketing Officer of Digicel Jamaica Limited, to come and make remarks on their behalf. Please welcome him as he comes.
Oh, it's a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow athletes, good evening. All right, let's try it again. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow athletes and football enthusiasts, good evening. All right, fantastic. Listen, we're here and we're excited to be here with you as we launch another season of Schoolboy Football in Jamaica. We're gearing up for exceptional talent, fierce school rivalry, and unmatched team spirit that we know this tournament is known for. At Digicel, we're honored to be a major part of Jamaica's highly anticipated Schoolboy Football tournament and to be a title sponsor of the 2023 Manning Cup and Walkers Cup competitions. Whether you're a past student, a die-hearted fan, or currently just attending and participating in school, we welcome you all as fans to join us live in the stands across all of the amazing stadiums that ISSA has presented. It's going to be an adrenaline-pumping experience, and it's going to be truly fantastic. And we know we loved last season, and we know this season is going to set us up for more. At Digicel, we believe in the power of sports. Right? It inspires people, it transforms, it unites communities, and remain dedicated to giving back to the Jamaican youth. So this year, as part of Digicel's initiative, we've launched a brand new youth plan. It comes with lots of data, it comes at an affordable price, and when you buy this plan, as a fan, you get the opportunity to win tickets to the semis and also to the finals. So I encourage everybody to take advantage of it. This is our way of keeping all of our communities connected in the same way that football brings us all together for the love of the game. If you follow us on social media, you're one of the young people, you can follow us at Digicel Jamaica. You can follow us at SportsMax TV. We'll be giving away prizes. We'll be doing match day fixtures, predict the score to win giveaways. We'll have player profiles, and of course, we're working with all of our amazing influencers to keep the vibes all season long throughout the Digicel pages. For those that are unable to join us in the stadium, listen, we're going to keep you connected with HD access to all of the games through the SportsMax app, the SportsMax channel, Scene TV for all of those abroad, and it will keep you connected with our super fast LTE, our fiber connections to the home, and you'll never miss any of the Schoolboy Football action. In the midst of the excitement, SportsMax users can also stream to win. So if you stream and watch the games on your iPhone or on your Android, we'll give away incredible prizes like branded merchandise. Western Sports gift cards, vouchers, and the top prize of a brand new iPhone 14. Listen, football is not just about athleticism. It's a holistic development, and it fosters life skills such as teamwork, leadership, and discipline. That's why we look forward to supporting ISSA's community development plans, and we're doing that in collaboration with the Digicel Foundation. And it's geared towards the development of Jamaican youth. It's all about giving back to the young athletes of Jamaica. So in closing, I want to say a huge shout out to the ISSA team. Keith, you and your team are doing amazing things. Big up yourself. Please give them a round of applause. You guys are constantly fostering young talent. You're building future leaders and legends, right? And to all the participating schools, the coaches, teachers, players, fans, you all make this event amazing, and it's amazing how we can celebrate unity and sportsmanship, and we can all come together and celebrate these young athletes of Jamaica. Listen, Digicel stands firmly behind all of them, yeah? Every step of the way. And we can't wait to cheer you all on, whether it be in the stadium, whether it be on SportsMax app, whether it be when we're keeping you connected to all of the action. We are looking forward to this season. It's going to be one to remember. We're excited. And remember, follow us at Digicel Jamaica. Get your youth plan for your son, your daughter. Get them kicking the ball. We could have some amazing players. As we seen Whisper get signed for Chelsea. Should have signed for Man U, but you know. Anyway, all the best, and thank you for having us. And big up to the ISSA team.
Thank you, Mr. Lavelle. Now, when I first visited Jamaica, I was 16 years old. I moved here in 2019 for school, and I decided to stay on. And luckily for me, SportsMax was so generous to give me an opportunity. But from the time that I visited to the time that I moved to this day, there's one thing that I always recognize, is that Jamaicans love KFC. I don't know what they put in that chicken, but no matter what day, what time of the day it pass, it's always full. Yeah, national dish. So I guess it is only right if we ask the brand manager of Restaurants of Jamaica, Mr. Andre Roper, to come and make remarks on their behalf.
Gee, if I told you the secret, I'd have to kill you. Distinguished guests, friends, fellow sponsors, players, coaches, members of the media, fellow members of my KFC team, pleasant good evening. Glad to be here. Before I get into the meat of the matter, it would be remiss of me if I didn't come here. Before I get into the... Yeah, you like that one. You like that one. Before I get into the meat of the matter, there's nothing quite like the enjoyment that you experience when you have a vested interest in a sport or a season. And so last year brought significant pleasure to me, not just as a fan of football, as a fan of the Schoolboy Football product, and as a sponsor when my alma mater, Campion College, not only won the under-16 competition for the urban area, but also progressed to the second round for the first time since I was a 12-year-old second former at Campion College many, many years ago. No, man, feel free to applaud. These things are worth a mention. My point is that there's nothing like having a vested interest, and there's nothing like seeing what happens when hard work, determination, and commitment pay off. I see it not just at my alma mater, but I see it at the schools that participate in the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup year in and year out. And so it gives us significant pride as a sponsor at this level to see the way in which the competition continues to mature and to progress, and to hear the plans that are on stream for this upcoming season. It's perfectly aligned with what KFC believes sports should mean and the impact that sports should have for our youngsters. Not just creating well-rounded boys and girls on the field, but off the field. Sometimes, I like to draw certain parallels to American sports, even though I know some of us don't like to do it. But there are some parallels which I draw when I think about American sports. And one of the greatest honors that you can receive in American high school and collegiate sports is to be named an All-American. And I'm specifically speaking about American sports. Concurrently, one of the even more proud achievements is when you're named an academic All-American. And so those types of honors really pay tribute to one of the tenets that we really should hold in much, much higher regard as it relates to schoolboy sports, being able to create more well-rounded boys and girls. And so it's really, really, really heartwarming to hear the plans that are afoot to really shine a stronger spotlight on the achievements of our boys and girls, not just on the field, but off the field. And so we're looking forward to that. We know that a lot of our athletes are not just a big deal on the field, but they're a big deal off the field as well, in the classroom, and we're going to see which ones are a big deal in the community as well. So we're looking forward to that. I have to echo the sentiments of Frankie in just saying great work, not just to the ISSA team, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, all the hard work that goes into elevating the schoolboy football property year after year, and also to the SportsMax team, who contribute to put out a fabulous television product. Please give them a round of applause. Not just a fabulous television product, but also a fabulous digital product. And us as sponsors will continue to expand and further the digital journey and the digital impact through social media and through the online space to ensure that fans of football, not just in Jamaica, but overseas, especially alumni of participating schools, are able to really watch and download and stream and appreciate the excellence of schoolboy football for yet another season. I have to pause for a split second to just say, these jerseys look good. I have to say, these jerseys look good. Credit to the sponsors, the jersey sponsors. You have taken it up a notch again. When you see the product on television and on YouTube, the jerseys really pop, and we really get a lot more value. So great job as far as the jerseys and the outfitting of the teams are concerned. I won't be much longer, but just to add that, we're looking forward to a great season. We've bumped up our sponsorship a little bit more this season from $12 million last year to $15 million this season. And this summer has been a very rewarding summer for us as a brand from a sports perspective and particularly from a football perspective. I know this is the schoolboy football season that is kicking off today, but the pride and the sense of achievement which not just us as a brand, but I'm sure all of us as Jamaicans received from the Reggae Girls this summer was truly tremendous. And as a sponsor of the Reggae Girls, and particular Khadija Shaw, it just shows the power that football has and can have in bringing a nation together and galvanizing us and giving us something else to be proud of. So it's just another way in which you really see the impact of football. So we're looking forward to seeing more stars being unearthed from the schoolboy football season. Looking forward to seeing players going on, not just to the national youth level, but the senior level, and maybe more getting opportunity to play at clubs overseas. And we know that KFC will be a part of the journey for years to come. Before I go, I just wanted to deliver a message from another member of the KFC family who just had a few words, especially for the players here today.
Hi everyone, Bonnie Shaw here, KFC Big Deal Brand Ambassador, Manchester City and Reggae Girl Striker. First of all, I just want to send, a big shout out and a thank you to everyone for the amazing support that they have shown us throughout the World Cup. Knowing that, the country backed us and the love that we've got throughout the journey has been unbelievable. And, it gave us the extra motivation and the extra push to go out and make the country proud while creating history. I wish the best of luck to all the players and teams participating in this year's Schoolboy Football. I know there's going to be some serious talent coming out of this competition. I can't wait to hear and watch whenever I get the opportunity to do so. But for me, I would just encourage you guys to have fun, listen to your coaches, be disciplined, enjoy every moment, and you'll definitely reap the reward from doing so. And you never know, you could be get an opportunity to play professional football, or if that's not what you desire, and also a scholarship to play in America, or to further your studies. So I encourage you guys to keep pushing, keep working hard, and the success will come. Thanks as always to my sponsor KFC for believing in me, believing in football, and always supporting at all levels. So again, thanks again, and I wish the best of luck to you guys.
Thanks. Looking forward to a great season. Take care.
Thank you, Andre Roper, brand and manager restaurants of Jamaica. And I want to go back to something that Mr. Wellington would have mentioned in his remarks, that Craig Butler would have said that he used footage from SportsMax to, send and get agents, scouters interested in acquiring DeJohn Richards and other players. And I just think it is a testament to the hard work and the exposure that having a broadcast partner provides. And the landscape of media has changed. Not only can you watch television, I wasn't around the days when you had to walk to crank the TV and turn on and stuff. I wasn't around that time. But I was around a time where television, newspapers, radio were the main media providers. But now we've moved into the social media era where everything is at your fingertips. That's what the SportsMax app provides. And you can now watch on the go, tablet, cell phone, whatever other device you may feel. But a lot of these young men, when they are on television, knowing that they are being seen by how many ever people watch, because we have thousands, I would even go as far as millions watching SportsMax, and they put on their best show. They always ensure that they are seen, and they are seen, and a lot of them are picked up by clubs overseas. And not only does SportsMax provide talent on the field, or show talent on the field, they show it on your screens. Lejay Williams is here, one of the analysts from last season, and might I add, it was his first season, but the wealth of knowledge, football knowledge that is shared. Of course, we have Donald Oliver, the Peter Drury of the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, the Caribbean. Probably he was the first Donald Oliver of the world. And we have Ricardo Chambers. So many moments that come out of these broadcasts when you look back at what is being said, when you look back at the highlights, you can see so much, and it just jogs your memory and you live it. So SportsMax, good job. And I'm not saying that just to keep my job. I would invite Natalie Campbell to now make remarks. She's the marketing executive at SportsMax, and she will make remarks on their behalf. Please welcome her as she comes.
not Nick, but maybe a cuter version, right? Okay. Ali McNabb represented Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange, JFF President Michael Ricketts, ISSA President Keith Wellington, fellow sponsors, esteemed players, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, good evening. We are excited and have been working in the background to ensure that this season is one filled with excitement, thrills, and passion like none other. We continue to roll out the most experienced broadcast and production crew to ensure your viewing experience is at the highest quality. Following the excitement of 2022, this upcoming season, we will capture and deliver to you the thrilling victories, heart-stopping moments, and unbreakable bonds between schools and their supporters. SportsMax is committed to providing sporting content of the highest quality to over 26 countries in the Caribbean via our linear channels, SportsMax and SportsMax 2, the SportsMax app, where you can watch anytime, anywhere, and on any device, even an iPhone 6, if you know, you know. The Scene app, which is available across the world. So let me say about 7 billion people can watch the Schoolboy Football this season. And our YouTube platforms. But we will also be on free-to-air. And combined, we will be showing you over 70 live matches for this schoolboy season. You know, as I said, Bonnie a while ago, and she has inspired a nation, she has more inspired our females. And so for next year, I really want us to put some females on our station. So we need the female football high school league. We've done it in Trinidad with the SSFL, and now Jamaica is well overdue. We understand that football has the power to ignite passion, so much passion, to create lasting memories, build bonds, and unite our schools. That's why our team at SportsMax has been tirelessly working behind the scenes to ensure that every game, every goal, and every emotion is captured and delivered to you with the utmost quality, professionalism, and of course, excitement. If you would have watched the other day, our zone room gets pretty excited about sports, and for Schoolboy Football, it is magnified times 100. This season, SportsMax is pleased to announce that we will be offering a student athlete a scholarship of up to $1 million Jamaican dollars through our partnership with the University College of the Caribbean, UCC. The scholarship, short people problems. The scholarship will be awarded based on performance and discipline in competition and academic achievements. So, thank you. So for all the sixth formers, last year students, put that out there, show us what you have, and SportsMax will be standing right beside you through your, academic journey. As we venture into another exciting season, we look forward to the holistic development of every student athlete. Whilst we anticipate seeing their skills, we more look forward to them developing into outstanding individuals and pillar of our society. Their unwavering commitment to their schools and fans is what fuels the magic of this competition. It is a privilege to have witnessed players like Alex Marshall, Junior Flemings, and of course, Dujon Whisper Richards graduate from SBF and are now doing well professionally, both locally and internationally. Their success is an inspiration and will motivate other students for years to come. As the anticipation builds and the first whistle approaches, let us come together in support of Schoolboy Football. Let us put some sponsorship as well behind the television product. If we don't get sponsorship, We can't bring you almost 80 matches, and we are sure to grow that number next year until all matches can be broadcast live on SportsMax and Scene TV. As the anticipation builds, let's celebrate the victories, emphasize the defeats, and cherish the moments that remind us why this support is so dear to us, why the support that Jamaica puts behind high school football is so relevant and important. As we embark on this adventure together, we promise to bring you closer to the action, to the drama, and to the stories that will unfold in the coming months. Thank you for your unwavering support, and let's make this football season truly unforgettable. Stay tuned to SportsMax, your home of champions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. And yeah, we need that sponsorship. We need to ensure that we can bring these games to you. It was a lot of firsts throughout the last 2 seasons. 2021, first time we did 50 matches in a season on television live. Last season, first time we broadcast from Glenmuir and Garvey Maceo. So you have to watch, of course, to see what firsts come this year, this season. We are in the presence of many top officials in football across the country, and of course in other capacities as well across the country. And we're going to invite them, of course, to come up and make remarks of their own, starting with the sports advisor to the Minister of Sports, Ali McNabb.
Let me say good evening to everyone. It's actually easy for me to say all protocol observed, but I have to acknowledge the president of ISSA, my good friend, Mr. Keith Wellington. He doesn't like me because I went to Cornwall College and we used to beat up St. Elizabeth all the time, and there are stories I can't tell you. I have to acknowledge my other friend, the president of the JFF, Mr. Michael Ricketts. He wants to remind me of that. I don't remember that in my time. As was mentioned, I'm representing the minister, the Honorable Minister Olivia Grange, this evening, who I don't know if I should say it's unfortunate that she's not here, because she's having such a great time in Budapest with the athletes. But before I get to the minister's message, Mr. President, I want to tell you, and I want to tell your viewers, I am a product of schoolboy football. And just to modernize things, I am like Dujon Richards. I left schoolboy and went to play professional football. I, along with the likes of Alan Cole, Neville Oxford, and 14 other Jamaicans, were taken to start what is now the MLS. It was called the NASL. And for SportsMax, your viewers along the Caribbean, in Trinidad, you had Warren Archibald, you had Gally Cummings. From Haiti, you had Guy Saintville, and a host of others that went to make up the United States MLS and what it is today. I haven't written to them with my lawyers as to find out if I'm to get some kind of percentage or something. But what I want to say this evening before I give you Minister's message is that football is now an industry, and the JFF president can elaborate on that. It's an opportunity. An opportunity because we have not been told that you can make a good living out of football. But before you get to that stage, you have to hone and tone your skills. You have to develop your craft. You have to be the master of it. And that's where your coaches come in. I love the bragging rights, like when I can brag on the ISSA president. JC in my time in I don't want to tell you when it was, when we beat JC 5-0 in the Olivia Shield. I was a 14-year-old. I scored 2 of those goals. I just want to put that on record. But no, it is a great opportunity. And I am pleased sitting there and hearing all of the developments, all of the incentives, all the sponsors that have come on board. And I'm sure the JFF president is licking his chops and hoping that many of these people will come at the level of football. And you need to. You need to understand that what you're helping is the future development of our young. Just before I go into the minister's message, just to tell you one thing, 50% of our population is 15 years and under. We have a young nation, and we need to take care of that. As was mentioned, Minister is having a great time in Budapest, and here am I stuck with you guys. So it is with great pleasure that I'd like to commend the Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISSA, on the tremendous work being done in staging what we anticipate will be another great schoolboy football season. Last year was a blast. Jamaica College Cup and the Manning Cup, KC the Champions Cup, Clarendon College living the DaCosta Cup and the Olivia Shield. Tivoli taking the Walker Cup, and of course Glenmuir walking away with the Ben Francis Cup. All of this after a truncated 2021 season and no competition in the year 2022. Today, the minister would like to commend all the participants involved in the hosting of this year's ISSA competition. Some 127 schools are registered, which means over 2,000 athletes are set to compete in this year's competition. It promises to be a really exciting one. We also want to commend the players and the coaches who I know have been preparing for this season all summer long. I know that your love and passion for the sport of football will reap rewards for you, not just in your athletic endeavors, but also developmentally as you practice the values of fair play, teamwork, respect for others, and many of these young men will mature and become future leaders of this country. This is what sport does for you. It develops a discipline that you take in when your playing career is gone. I know I employ much of the discipline that I learned in sport in my business approach. The minister also wants to acknowledge the parents and guardians of these young footballers who have supported them over the years. This is a vital component for success, the support that these athletes, these footballers get. I know my father used to walk the sidelines, what they used to call it when they say, your contact, kicking people all about the place when I was playing. And I used to love to hear those stories, but what it was, he was always there. So parents, I encourage you to be there. The staging of these kinds of competition is not possible without the support of sponsors. And so I'm running into a problem here. I want to identify the 2 main sponsors, which is Digicel and Water, and all the other sponsors I want to include. My friend Andre is going to kill me, but you did a great job. In supporting and continuing to support schoolboy football in Jamaica. This is vital. So as we look forward to the beginning of the schoolboy season, I want to urge us to start putting plans in place. And that video, Andre, was very timely because the schoolgirl football season begins in February of next year. And as we know in schools and in many other endeavors, don't smile, the women are outdoing the men. And so it's a challenge. And I love the challenge for us to step up and do what needs to be done. So on behalf of the minister, let me thank you once again for the invitation to share with you the launch of this season, Mr. President, and I look forward to seeing more of our homegrown footballers making a name for themselves on and off the pitch, and maybe even representing Jamaica at various levels of competition. I wish you a successful season, injury-free, and most important, incident-free. I thank you.
Ali McNabb, ladies and gentlemen, the sports advisor to the Minister of Sports, who is in Budapest. Might I add? I wish I was there as well. She's taking in all the action. And we're here. Of course, we're happy to be here, though. Yeah. And he said he was pretty good at football, and I've had a bit of confirmation of that. So, yeah, he's not lying. He's not. And I want to echo his sentiments to the young players who are here. That's an example of what you can become. After you play, remember, you have to not only practice on the field, but you have to practice the characteristics that you learn off the field as well. Yeah, and you can become Mr. McNabb in the future. So let's move on smartly now. The boss of football in Jamaica, the JFF president, Mr. Michael Ricketts. I'll invite him now to come and make his remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. I'm not sure if I'm going to be very coherent because I'm just coming back from Australia. I got here probably 3 hours ago. But I thought it was very important that I be here. And Mr. Scott called me about 100 times from the airport back home to getting here. The last time was when I drove in through the gate. I said, yes, Scotty, I'm here. But the truth is that I thought it was very important that I be here for a multiplicity of reasons. First and foremost, ISSA would have given so much support to our national programs that I thought I had to be here. And I must, in my capacity as president of the JFF, give kudos and pay homage to Keith Wellington and his team. They have done an excellent job. And it's not just football, it's every sport that is played amongst school. But for the purpose of this evening's exercise, we're going to speak about football. Our under 15 boys just participated in a CONCACAF tournament. And for those of us who might not know what CONCACAF is, I'm sure Ali and those who are integral to the sport would understand that CONCACAF is actually all the Caribbean countries plus South, plus North and Central America. So it's the US, Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, Haiti, all of the Caribbean. A under 15 tournament, which essentially is made up of schoolboys. We finished 4th out of 41 countries. This is no ordinary achievement. And when you think, it is simply because of the players that we were able to extract from the schools. Let me recognize Mr. Ali McNabb. Let me recognize Mr. Keith Wellington. All the sponsors, Mr. Shalifour, they are on board at the JFF level. So too Mr. Roper and KFC. We are just absolutely excited at the prospects. When you think of, and I want to tell you this, every single Caribbean country wants to meet with Keith Wellington. I know he's having discussion now with Guyana, because every single Caribbean country wants to copy what ISSA is doing, which spells volumes for what ISSA is doing and continue to do. Bonishaw is a product of ISSA. She went to Crescent Primary, then she went to St. Jago. Somebody from St. Jago is here? No, she never went to Jago, sorry. She went to Clarendon College. You know, I have to hit back a little at Ali. I grew up in the parish of Clarendon. Clarendon has done everything asked of a parish as it relates to schoolboy football. We have won the Costa Cup more times than any other parish. We have produced more winning the Costa Cup teams than any other parish. I hear a Clarendon applause. When I was walking in and the chairman mentioned 2 Clarendon teams, Glenmuir and Garvey. I chaired the schoolboy at Garvey for 9 years. Just when I walk in, to my left was Clarendon College, and to my right was the principal at Garvey. So I said, this could very well be the 2 finalists this year. But I must seriously say that we are just very, very excited when it comes around to schoolboy football. ISSA seem to have a thing about them that they become more and more innovative every year and seem to add some kind of a spice that going to bring out more supporters. I'm going to share a story with you. I think my population here is adult enough. I hear that Arsenal had a player. Hold on. Arsenal had a player called David Dix. So David Dix was injured. So the tabloid before the day's game read, Arsenal to play without Dix. The manager thought that, no, we need to reorganize the headline. So he called the editor of the relevant tabloid and said, no, we're really having an issue with your headlines. Could you please rephrase your headline? Well, the day of the game, the tabloid read, Arsenal to play with Dix out. Now I understand that the stadium was filled with all ladies before the game started. So I don't know if ISSA seem to have that kind of an insight that they know exactly what to do to get the fans out. Congratulations to you, sir, and your team. Principal Colleen, I'm not seeing her. Is she here? Is my favorite principal, and I wish I could have put on some khaki clothes one day and just go to Wilmot's, but she's on the female side. Everywhere I go, you know what I saw one day, I think at Stets? There was a game there, and the place was littered with paper and garbage. And I saw the principal. There were a million boys that you could say, pick up the paper. And the principal was picking up the paper to ensure that there was a clean and acceptable environment. If you're here, madam, hot steel, like you, I love you, rate you. But the truth is, ISSA has made an indelible mark on sport in this country. There's no question that our national team has benefited tremendously from ISSA's programs. I never played football. I tried to keep goal, but it never worked out. But I tried my hand at refereeing, and I ref one match. I ref a community match one day, and I know I don't understand. The match draw, and the 2 teams stoned me. So me have to run. No team had any advantage, but yet them stoned me. So I ref one match in all my life, never ref again. But I'm into administration, and with the support and help of our sponsors, ISSA, we are doing well. And lastly, we must continue. I'm going to say this for the umpteenth time, that football, we must use football to influence the social well-being of every single boy and girl. Gone are the days when we play football for fun. And the powers at be must understand that we must use football for the social and commercial well-being of boys and girls. Bonnie Shaw is an example. Ordinary girl, grew up in Crescent. Now, she's comfortable. The last time she came here, she called me and said she wanted to train at the Captain's Borough Center of Excellence. So I called and I made the arrangements. And I called her back and I said to her, Bonnie, you want me to arrange to have someone pick you up? And she laughed and laughed and laughed. She said, President, I'm not the little girl you used to know, you know. Because she's driving her own car, and an expensive car too. A lady called me not so long ago and she said to me, Mr. President, what is the name of your favorite female player? So I said, who is that? She said, the good one, man, the one that played in England. Somebody said, oh, Bonnie. She said, no, I want her correct name. So I said, she's Khadija. So I said, why? She said, I'm pregnant and I want to give my daughter name after her. So I said, why? She said, I want her to be as great as Khadija is. That is the kind of social impact that we want to use football to have on the psyche of every single boy and girl. May God bless you. Keith Wellington, you did an excellent job, my friend. Super. And the JFF is appreciative of what you have done. It spills over international programs, under 15, under 17, under 20s. Dijon is an example. When Hall Grimson, that's the national coach, called him for the senior program, and the coach and I had a meeting the day after, and I asked him, why Richards? He said, he is the most talented youngster I have seen in a long time. He might not be ready right now, but he will be ready in a few years' time. And those words resonated with me and would have indelibly been etched in my mind, because I know for sure that he's one for the future. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Michael Ricketts, Jamaica Football Federation. And, you know, last season, when we walked out, when we assembled at Sabina Park for the start of the season, I remember seeing the game between Kingston College. Was it Kingston College? Well, in the first game, Calabar. And I don't want to sound biased by any means, because remember, I'm not Jamaican, people, so please. No affiliations to any schools. Probably Jamaica College, because there's a Barbadian influence on that, but that's a story for another time. Someone said immediately after seeing their jerseys, I want to buy that. That is the work of the jersey sponsors, Soccer Express. Please give them a round of applause. Maybe that is the next step, to build jerseys, replicas, that we can have them sold in stores to help develop schoolboy football even further in Jamaica. So we will now look at these jerseys, pay attention to the screens, and reveal each of them. Now we'll start with the Costa Cup jerseys, Zone A, Cornwall College. So they are the polka dot. Well, that is not polka dots. The patterned, the checkered red, gold and red. Then next to them we have Green Pond High, Irwin High in the purple on the far right, Malden High, the bottom of your screen, that's a really bright color, Spot Valley in the middle, and then St. James High right next to them. That's Zone A. And Zone B, you'll see now Anchovy High in the yellow and black, Cambridge High, Frome Technical, any Frome Technical people here? No? Green Island, the bottom left, Merlin Otti High in the middle, that brown there, and Russie's High. That's Zone B. Zone C, all those wonderful jerseys, and you can choose which one is your favorite from there. So let's go now to Zone C, Zone D. Yeah, Black River included in their Green Chill High as well. Manning's High, which is, so many of them would call me and tell me it's the Manning School. And Petersfield High, they're in there as well. In Zone D. Let's take a look now. Zone E. Yeah, BB Coat High in there. And so many other schools. Lacovia High next to them. Magatee as well. Stex is in there as well. So these are some of the jerseys for the teams in Zone E. Let's move on. Zone F, Bel Air High as well in there. The Cartrick College, one of the teams that I like to watch closely, and Manchester High are in there as well. Mount St. Joseph Catholic, they're in the competition as well. Let's look at the next zone. Zone G, Alphonsus Davis High, Belfield High as well. Christiana in there. Homewood Technical, Knox College, and Malgully High in that order. Clarendon College, defending the Costa Cup champions in Zone H. Edwin Allen High as well in there. Lennon High. So 2 champions in this zone. The Costa Cup champions and the Ben Francis Cup champions. Should be a wonderful clash. Look forward to seeing that. Zone I, these are the jerseys. St. Mary High in there. When you're looking at these jerseys, of course, Water, the main sponsor of the DaCosta Cup. Zone J, Charlemont, Dintil Technical, Enid Bennett High in there as well. Yorton High and McGrath. Morant Bay, Paul Bogle, Yalas, Robert Lightbourne High in Zone K. Those are the jerseys. Central High, last year's DaCosta Cup finalists, the runners-up, really shocked the entire schoolboy football world last season. Then behind there as well, Glenmuir High, Old Harbour, and Ponas High in there as well. Zone M, Fogo Road, Garvey Maceo, Kemps Hill, Virtech, and Tatius Golden. They round up Zone M. These are the wonderful jerseys that they'll be wearing in that order. Fair Prospect in Zone N, Happy Grove, Port Antonio High, and Titchfield High. These are the Portland teams. Let's move over now to the Manning Cup, Calabar High. That is a jersey that would have been on sale from the very first day last season. Camperdown High, Charlie Smith High, Hydel High, Kingston College. They went far. We know that this is going to be a very tough zone. Penwood High on their return to the Manning Cup. Yeah, we must watch that zone very closely. Cumberland High, Jamaica College, the defending champions, Manning Cup champions. Kingston Tech, Meadowbrook High, Spanish Town High, and Tivoli Gardens High. 2 teams that will be playing on opening day are in Zone B, in Group B. Denham Town High, now this is Group C. Dunoon Tech, Eltham High, Greater Portmore High are back in the competition. Haile Selassie and Jonathan Grant High. Those are the jerseys for these teams. Zone D, Bridgeport, Cedar Grove, Clancarty, Excelsior, Stats. Stats last year's runners-up in the Manning Cup, and Tarrant High, Zone D. Zone E, Holy Trinity High in there. Norman Manley High as well are in, and St. Catherine High, the alma mater of Prime Minister. Zone F, Arden High, Campion College, Jose Marti, Pembroke Hall, St. George's College, Waterford High in there as well. Ascot returning. Also Donald Quarry, this is Group G. Papine High, St. Jago, Vauxhall, and Womer's Boys are in. Oh, see, Womer's Boys has fans. Yeah. So, one of the hallmarks and one of the best features in Jamaica, is their culture. Easily influential not only in the Caribbean, but across the world. And that culture has been tapped into for this season of Schoolboy Football. And now it is time to premiere, for the very first time, the official jingle of not the 2023 season, but of Schoolboy Football. And to perform that is none other than D. Burns.
Yo, ISSA. Boy, Schoolboy Football look this season. People, them ready, you know. Alright then, pick up, Manning Cup, Olivia Shield, yo, make we link up. We watch the Champions Cup, Ben Francis Walker Cup, which team are win the championship this season? Yo, ISSA. Wonder if a school a go finish the league and beat them. Which youth a go collect the golden boot and be the favorite for the people? Yo, ISSA. Missy fans a roll out all bout be a flag pan vehicle. Looking at the crowd, bus load of supporters from school and community too. People nothing at distance, some a listen on radio and some a watch it on TV too. Country and town link up for one reason. ISSA, Schoolboy Football, run come, look one, look all. How which team are the best and I go better than the rest, and if I your team beat your chest. ISSA, Schoolboy Football, run come, look one, good ball. How which team are the best? Hold on. Yo, ISSA. That competition they never have it nice so people love it when boy you get nice up on the field. Angola school from far and them love it with peaceful and the youths now war. It's a Schoolboy Football, no local. Youths a move on to international big league. And I still people heart, but remember which party start. ISSA, Schoolboy Football, run come, look one, look all. How which team are the best and I go better than the rest, and if I your team beat your chest. ISSA, Schoolboy Football. A team could rise and a team could fall. But you never will know until the whistle blows. So run come, enjoy the show. ISSA, Schoolboy Football, run come, look one, look all. How which team are the best and I go better than the rest, and if I your team beat your chest now. Schoolboy Football, a team could rise and a team could fall. But you never will know until the whistle blow. Run come, enjoy the show. ISSA, Schoolboy Football.
ISSA, Schoolboy Football.
Boy, Schoolboy Football look this season. People, them ready, you know. Alright then, pick up, Manning Cup, Olivia Shield, yo, make we link up. We watch the Champions Cup, Ben Francis Walker Cup, which team are win the championship this season? Yo, ISSA. Wonder if a school a go finish the league and beat now. Which youth a go collect the golden boot and be the favorite for the people? Missy fans a roll out all bout be a flag pan vehicle. Looking at the crowd, bus load of supporters from school and community too. People nothing at distance, some a listen on radio, some a watch it on TV too. Country and town unite for one reason. ISSA, schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest? And if a your team beat your chest, ISSA, schoolboy football. A team could rise and a team could fall, but they never will know until the whistle blows. So run, come enjoy the show. Yo, ISSA, that competition I never have it nice up. People love see when boy I get nice up on the field. I'm goal a score from far and them love it with peaceful and the youths now war. Yo, it's a schoolboy football, no local. The youths are move on to international big league. And I steal people heart, but member wish party start. ISSA, schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest? And if a your team beat your chest, ISSA, schoolboy football. A team could rise and a team could fall, but they never will know until the whistle blows. So run come enjoy the show. ISSA, schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest? And if a your team beat your chest, ISSA, schoolboy football. A team could rise and a team could fall, but they never will know until the whistle blows. So run come enjoy the show. ISSA, schoolboy football.
Yeah. Not only does ISSA Schoolboy Football provide exceptional talent, it also provides exceptional entertainment, and entertainment for one and all to enjoy. So that time comes where we want the time that we don't want to come, where we have to say goodbye. But I want to start by thanking all of those who would have been present. Thank you to Ms. Jennifer Williams for the opening prayer, Mr. Keith Wellington for his president's remarks, and Mr. Linton Wright, chairman of the DaCosta Cup. Mr. Scott, thank you so much for joining us, and of course all the sponsors, Francois Chalifer, Director, Marketing and Development, Wisynco, Tari Lavelle, Chief Marketing Officer, Digicel Jamaica Limited, beg your pardon, Andrew Roper, Brand Manager, Restaurants of Jamaica, and of course to all of you. Mr. Ricketts, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. McNabb, thank you. And of course, all the viewers, of course, locally and abroad, whether it was on the channel or on the YouTube channel, on the app as well. Thank you so much for joining us. September 9, opening day, ISSA Schoolboy Football season at the National Stadium right next door. Clarendon College versus Lennon High, that will be at 3 p.m. And then Jamaica College versus Tivoli Gardens, that will be the other game on the schedule. So we will see you then. Thank you so much for joining us, and please stay for some of the treats that are here by your favorite national dish, KFC. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening.
Yo, ISSA, my schoolboy football. Look this season. People, them ready, you know. Alright then, pick up, manning cup. Oliver Yashil, yo, make we link up. To watch the Champions Cup, Ben Francis, Water Cup. Which team are win the championship this season? Yo, ISSA, wonder if a school I go finish the league and beat now. Which youth I go collect the golden boot and be the favorite for the people? Yo, Messi fans are roll out all boat, be a flag pan vehicle. Looking at the crowd, bus load of supporters from school and community too. People nothing at distance, some a listen on radio, but some a watch it on TV too. Country and town unite for one reason. ISSA, schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest? And if a your team beat your chest, ISSA, schoolboy football. A team could rise and a team could fall, but they never will know until the whistle blows. So run come enjoy the show. Yo, ISSA, that competition I never have it nice up. People love see when boy I get nice up on the field. I'm goal a score from far and them love it with peaceful and the youths now war. Yo, it's a schoolboy football, no local. The youths are move on to international big league. And I steal people heart, but member wish party start. ISSA, schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest? And if a your team beat your chest, ISSA, schoolboy football. A team could rise and a